Anything we did does not be prevailing wage. I misunderstood that. I thought anything the town can stay bid is 25,000. And you don't think that this ordinance is to protect the integrity of the work that the township gets, that it shouldn't be the $10,000 over bid process.
I think it should be at 25,000, like I said, with the prevailing wage.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from council? Any comments from the audience? If you come forward and give your name and address, Mr. Sarin, start your hand first. If you come forward, give your name and address for the record.
Jim Sarin, 15 Continental Road. That's a really long word. How long did it take you to read it? About 15 minutes? Have all of you guys read this one? Yeah. My congratulations. I had a few questions. What is an apprenticeship? How does that come?
The ordinance provides that it must be a Class A apprenticeship program that is currently registered with and approved by the United States Department of Labor or a state apprenticeship agency. So the United States Department of Labor and the appropriate state organization is who decides what qualifies as a Class A apprenticeship program.
Now, the county recently passed an ordinance similar to this to deal with these.
Mr. Chairman, before you continue, I just want to remind you of our policy that this is a public comment portion of this vote.
I understand this is related.
Okay.
The county recently passed a similar ordinance to address the construction of a new prison. And in the bidding, they found that companies that were non-union but members of the Southeast Association of Builders and Contractors qualified because ABC operates an apprenticeship program. I'd like Mr. Clark's opinion as to whether ABC's apprenticeship program would also be recognized as a Class A program.
If it is an apprenticeship program that is currently registered with and approved by the U.S. Department of Labor or a state apprenticeship agency.
Okay.
So their program fits either being registered with and approved by the United States Department of Labor or a state apprenticeship agency, then they would qualify.
Last question. How much of this ordinance is really just duplicating existing state law? As you said, parts of it are already in the municipalities' procurement. How much of this is just repetition to make it more of a feel-good kind of ordinance?
A fair amount of this ordinance already exists under the municipal procurement statutes, already exists under some of the case law that has come down in recent years regarding public contracts. This ordinance and similar ones that have been passed in the state within the last several years basically brings a lot of the different sections together and also sort of puts in an ordinance form some of the case law that has been decided over the last several years.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are there any other comments from the public? Can you come forward, sir, give your name and address for the record?
Greg Henslin, Radio Road. I put my comments in the form of a letter. I'd like council to reevaluate and drop the responsible contractor legislation. As a consequence of this legislation, a quality Plymouth Township-based company like Plymouth Construction will no longer be eligible to provide proposals on Plymouth Township construction projects. Plymouth does not have a formal Department of Labor-approved apprenticeship program. Plymouth teaches the site work trade the old-fashioned way. The older generation is taught and passed on the trade to the younger generation. Parents teaching their family trade and business is a proven method of educating the younger generations going back to the inception of our country. Parents just don't hand the keys to the business to their children and wish them luck. Parents teach them every day and gradually increase the experience level until the parent is comfortable with the child working on his own. This is an every day of the week educational process. Plymouth is not a faceless corporation. Plymouth Construction is a Plymouth Township family, Piazzatelli family. Piazzatellis have deep and robust roots in Plymouth Township. Piazzatelli's generosity is second to none. People constantly ask companies to give back to their communities. Plymouth Construction and Piazzatelli's have given very generously to Plymouth Township. Your child has been involved in a youth sport or activity, and your child has been sponsored or subsidized by Plymouth Construction. Piazzatelli's themselves have donated many hours, equipment and material to fix up and spruce up various fields used for sports and activities around our township. And not only that, you'll find Piazzatelli's volunteering in Little League in spite of the fact that their children graduated from the program. I'd also like to mention that one of our local founding fathers started his career as an apprentice. He worked as an apprentice and was taught by his older brother in Boston. This was not a formal government-approved apprenticeship program, just a family member teaching a trade to a younger family member. He finished his apprenticeship and moved to Philadelphia and set up shop. The young apprentice was Benjamin Franklin. I think Benjamin Franklin did all right for the city of Philadelphia and the United States of America. Thank you.
Any other comments from the audience? Please give your name and address for the record.
My name is Thomas Cahill. I live at 603 Benjamin. That's Plymouth Township.
Thank you, Steve.
I wasn't here the last couple of meetings due to vacations. So I was not parlayed to any of the conversation you had on this. I think that, well, my first question is, if we pass this, has anyone calculated the impact on our capital improvement fund of this legislation?
We discussed this, and adopting this ordinance probably wouldn't have an effect on the overall levels of our expenditures for capital improvements. In fact, it's been the experience of other municipalities that enacting an ordinance similar to this would not only not increase rates, but in fact decrease rates and decrease the amount of change orders that are issued.
Where do you cite your reference to that, sir?
That's White Orange Township, Conshohocken has the same ordinance. There's several municipalities in Bucks County. I know Mr. Clark represents a municipality that uses this ordinance and has had the exact effect on what I just mentioned. Is that right, Mr. Clark?
No, that's correct. I represent Falls Township in Bucks County, which has had this ordinance for about 5 or 6 years, and they have found that there's not been an increase in the bids. Some of that can be attributed to the fact that the economy has not been good and contractors are bidding lower amounts, but what Falls has found most significantly is timeliness of completion and cost overruns have helped. The elimination of cost overruns has helped keep the cost of these projects down.
Right. In our capital improvement fund, am I correct in assuming that we have projects on the boards that have funds been allocated by council that are, in the process they're already done? Am I correct?
Thanks for saying that right then.
And how much is that? And again, do we know what the impact of those projects will be?
It doesn't affect already let contracts.
I'm sorry?
It doesn't affect contracts that have already been awarded.
I understand that. My question is, of the projects we have in our capital improvement fund that have been funded in the capital improvement fund that have not been let, what impact will this have on those?